But anyway, let me get into the topic of the day right quick. And then again, we'll talk about Colorado as well and their big win in the upset over Iowa State, number 22 ranked at that time, Iowa State. And they'll be on a bye week this week. Shedeur Sanders gets drafted. If you're living under a rock, you don't know, but he was drafted 5th round. All of these things, I think we kind of know the past and the history. He was projected as a 1st round, maybe an early 2nd, ends up dropping in the draft, right? There were some things have been coming out about, he didn't want to go to certain teams like the Baltimore Ravens. And there was a lot of media coverage in regards to after Lamar Jackson got hurt. Excuse me, I'm sorry. After Lamar Jackson got hurt, if he would have went there, he could have been playing. Okay, fair. But he ends up at the Cleveland Browns. I said that when he got drafted. Shout out to Lexus if you're out there listening. Lexus, I still love you, baby. Don't be mad at me. But I said when he first got there, I wish he'd get out of there. I don't care how you get out of there, plane, train, or automobile. LMV, what's up, baby? Amanda, how you doing? So again, I don't care how he gets out of there, but he needed to get out of there. I think Cleveland Browns organization is awful. I think it's terrible. I don't think people understand how bad it is. There are a lot of new faces that's following college football since the Sanders have come on the scene from Jackson State to Colorado, and now people following Shedeur over to Cleveland. And I don't think a lot of people really understand how bad of an organization, not just a team, not even a program, an organization as a business they are in the way in which they do things. Now, here's what I will say. Jimmy Haslam's the owner. It's his business. He runs it how he chooses. And as bad as they are, like I've said before, they made $700 million last year, just as bad as they are. As bad as they were, they made $700 million. Some people could I don't call that a failure, but it is what it is. And I want to kind of go down this timeline chronologically and let people kind of understand if you don't know, and then I'll get into my spiel. So Shedeur gets drafted 5th round behind Dillon Gabriel. They bring in Joey Flacco. They bring in Kenny Pickett. They also bring in a guy named Tyler Huntley when there were some hamstring issues. Shedeur has always kind of been at the bottom rung of the ladder in regards to depth chart. They end up trading Kenny Pickett to the Raiders. Everybody, we can move this up. They end up just recently trading Joe Flacco to the Bengals. Now, with that trade came some question marks. Mike Tomlin, they just played the Steelers, and Mike Tomlin apparently said some things about, I don't know why you trade him. And here's the deal. I don't even know if that was AI or not, but that's what it was out. That's what's out there. And they were saying, I don't see how you could trade a guy to a rival team within the same conference as you that have problems at quarterback. That was your starter for the season. And I want to make sure I lay this out so you guys really understand where I'm going with this. So Joe Flacco was the starter for the Browns for the season. Comes in. He's going to be the number one guy. Everybody had him shoot in. He's the vet, played there before, yada, yada, yada. So they end up trading him. Dillon Gabriel takes over. When he gets ready to take over, a simple question was asked. Who's number 2? Kevin Stefanski, the head coach, comes out, kind of dances around it. That trade happened fast. Didn't really know about it. Dance. And doesn't initially name Shedeur the starter. I don't even remember when Zappe came to the Cleveland Browns. I don't even know when he got there because they got rid of Tyler Huntley and so forth. Speaking of Tyler Huntley, he ended up playing in the Ravens game behind Cooper Rush. But anyway, now we're going into week 7 of this season. They're getting ready to play the Dolphins. Dolphins is not a very good football team. It's not a very good football team. And people are saying they need to start Shedeur. I don't believe they're going to start Shedeur against the Dolphins because Dylan Gabriel will have opportunity to possibly win a football game against my beloved Miami Dolphins. And I believe right now, I guess my biggest beef, and I know everybody, oh, Shedeur need to play. Here's my problem. And I don't know if Jimmy Haslam, the owner, and Andrew Berry, the GM, and Kevin Stefanski, the head coach, and who drafted who and who likes this and this. And I'm not getting into that. But what I do know is he's on the team. And if he's on the team, what's the plan? And this is where the biggest problem lies for me, especially being a coach. What's the plan for the guy? What's the plan? There's no sure information. Here's why we're rolling. This is what's going on. Everything's hush, hush, hush. And I don't mind as a devil's workshop. So my problem that I'm really having is, where does Shedeur Sanders fit in this scheme? At one point, like I say, Zappy comes and you don't know. A guy that's on the inactive roster could potentially jump over a guy that's been there, that was drafted there. And as a player, you want to play. But as a player, you can also understand development. But the thing is, I need to know the plan. If I understand the plan and I understand what I'm supposed to be doing, then therefore I understand my role. Regardless if you think he's better than Shedeur or whatever, or Shedeur thinks he's better than, I'm sorry, if Shedeur thinks he's better than Dylan Gabriel, whatever. That's neither here nor there. What the thing is what's the plan? And I just clearly can't see a plan. The only plan I know is that they don't have a plan. I think Shedeur is a product to them. He's a side piece. He is how do I say it? Like a sideshow, like at the circus, the bearded lady, right? The old baby or whatever it is. However, what is the plan? And if there is no plan, this is why I'm saying Shedeur need to ask for a trade. And just be bold about it. But it doesn't have to be a public trade. I'm going to say this. Let me go back and say this. It doesn't have to be a public spectacle. And he may have done this already. I don't know, but he may have, but I doubt it. But go in and just say, listen, I want to go where I'm appreciated and not tolerated. And I think that's any player. I don't care if you're the fifth string dude. If you can appreciate what I can bring to this team, even as a fifth stringer, then I'll play my role. But don't dangle me around like a carrot or like a side piece. And there's I think the problem lies for Shedeur. Now, here's the issue with the trade. And I said this earlier about distractions. And people don't want to hear this, and people get mad, and coach you a hater, and whatever. Unfortunately, due to Shedeur Sanders' status, family, and all the things that go with that, he does become a distraction. It's not his fault, but that's just what it is. Everybody's saying, why do we care this much about a fifth round draft pick? Because he's a famous, polarizing, his family's polarizing fifth round draft pick. He's not a regular fifth round draft pick. I don't know why people are like dumbfounded. Like, why do we spend this kind of energy on a fifth round draft pick? I made this parallel before, and y'all follow me. I might be off a little bit, but remember when Prince Harry went to the military over there in the UK and all the media following him? That would be the same thing as people saying, why people want to follow this new dude that just enlisted? Because he Prince doggone Harry. It's just that simple. It's Prince Harry. This is Shedeur Sanders. His father is Deion Sanders. Part of this was created in this whole fireworks because how his father created the culture at Jackson State and Colorado and all of those things, and that followed along. The Colorado fan base, or the new CUs, or whatever you want to call them, cult members, whatever. And so I say all that to say this is that's what you're going to get. Now, Terry Bradshaw came out. I believe I have a picture of this. And this is the exact feeling in my eyes. Thought I had it pulled up. Terry Bradshaw came out and said, where's the picture of it? Here we go. No, the picture I clicked on. Gosh, dagnabbit. Anyway, Terry Bradshaw comes out and he says, why can't I find it? Come on, Hayes, you got to tighten up on the production. Somebody getting fired. Here we go. Terry Bradshaw comes out and he says this. That didn't work. That ain't nice. What going on? Here we go. Why is the fifth rounder getting all this attention? I wouldn't have taken Shedeur. Let somebody else have that problem. And that right there is a big statement. Because that right there is why I believe that 32 teams passed on him 5 times. Listen to what he just said. And Terry Bradshaw's an old school dude. And I want y'all to remember this. Who are the owners? Old school dudes. I'm going to leave it like that. Right? They all have the same mindset. Why is the fifth rounder getting all this attention? Well, I just explained that. I wouldn't have taken Shedeur. That was his quote. Let somebody else have that problem. So he's acknowledging by saying have that problem, meaning all the things that come with this young man. And I have to say this. This is nothing. This is not Shedeur's problem. I'm not saying that he's that problem. But what I am saying is that that's the distraction piece. That NFL teams, and I said this at the beginning, you're a hater. And shout out to Lil Bucket. He bet me that Shedeur would be starting by the 7th game of the season. Well, I got 3 days or 4 days before somebody lose an eyebrow. Whether it's me or him, we bet an eyebrow. Got to shave it off live. I ain't seen Lil Bucket in 2 months, so he might be in Cleveland lobbying for Shedeur to start. But anyhow, that bet that I made, I've said this before, had nothing to do with Shedeur's talent more than they had to do with the Cleveland Browns being Cleveland Brown. They're going to do stupid stuff because they're Cleveland. But back to the Terry Bradshaw comment, if he does put in this statement, puts in a trade or wants a trade, the question now becomes, who wants him? Where would he go? Do they feel that if he comes to our team, Team X, for lack of a better term, will the circus follow? Because now it's as if he's a problem. And unfortunately for this young man, he is not a problem. The most I think Shedeur's ever done was speed. Okay, you got me. Slap my wrist. So that's the issue with the trade. Because again, 32 teams passed up on him 5 times. He went, what, 144th? So there were 143 people picked before him. Now, I don't know what Andrew Berry has to do with this or whatever the case may be, but Shedeur, if you're listening or anybody want to do this, I actually took the liberty of writing your letter for a trade request. Y'all want to hear it? Here it goes. Dear Andrew Berry, I hope this message finds you well. After careful consideration and discussions with my representatives, I'm formally requesting to be traded from the Cleveland Browns organization. Since joining the team, I have remained committed to my development and to the contribution in any way possible. However, it has become increasingly clear that the franchise does not currently have plans to provide me with meaningful opportunities for growth or playing time. I fully respect the direction and priorities of the organization, but I also believe that at this stage in my career, it is in both my best interest and the team's interest for me to continue my development elsewhere. My goal is to play for a franchise that is committed to cultivating my potential as a quarterback and allowing me the opportunity to compete and contribute on the field. I am confident that a trade can be made that benefits both parties and allows the Browns to gain valuable assets while allowing me to pursue a situation aligned with my long-term professional goals. I want to express my gratitude to the Browns organization, the coaching staff, and my teammates for their support and professionalism. This request comes from a place of respect and ambition, not frustration. I simply wish to continue growing as a player in an environment that aligns with my development goals. Thank you for your understanding and consideration. I trust that we can handle this matter with mutual respect and discretion. Respectfully, Shedeur Sanders, quarterback, Cleveland Browns. So, Shedeur, I get that to you for free. I email it to you, or you can write it down word for word. I don't care. But if it's me at this point, that's what I would do. That's what I would do. Because at this point, what do you have left to do, to offer? They don't want you there. They don't want to give you an opportunity. And again, I am not talking clearly about playing time. I'm talking about development, the opportunity to be developed, the opportunity to showcase your talents, the opportunity to become an NFL quarterback. That's it. Do I think Shedeur Sanders should be playing right now? Probably not. And that's okay. But the reason he hasn't been playing now in week 6, because the Cleveland Browns have literally 9 quarterbacks. Let's name them. We're talking about since Shedeur's been drafted: Deshaun Watson, Kenny Pickett, Joe Flacco, Dylan Gabriel, Tyler Huntley, Zappy. Who else been there? And Shedeur. That's 7 quarterbacks. Am I missing somebody? That's 7 quarterbacks since April, bro. 7 quarterbacks have been through that locker room since April. I'll get to the comments. I see you, Happy Days. I definitely, I want you to call in. I said Tyler Huntley. So I say all that to say, do your thing, bro. Like, do your thing. I think the biggest concern is, what's the plan? What is the plan for you? What is the plan for him, rather? And that's something that has not been discussed or divulged. I don't even think he knows, because I watched a clip of Shiloh, and I have to say this. Shout out to Shedeur, man, and the Sanders family. Them boys, man. Them boys have a good time. Here was a clip of Shiloh going to the game, with the Steelers game, and acting like he was Shedeur. But the funniest clip is at the end when he's there talking to him. And the reason I question the development, because when I saw this clip, that's what really, I wasn't going to talk about this today until I saw this clip. Because Shedeur is like, well, I thought I was going to get in. Well, I was warming up because I was ready to. And in my mind, I'm saying this kid doesn't know. He's walking blind. He's walking blind through this process, and that's unfair to any player. Forget if it's Shedeur Sanders. Like I said, the fifth string dude should know his role. Listen to this exchange. But look at Shedeur's face, man. Just finished the game. And he chilling.
In case I get in. All right, so how about this? All right. What if Coach Stefanski said, if you and Dad sit next to each other for the whole game, then Shedeur can start? Would you do it or no?
Honey, you'll never get in.
Oh my gosh. Now we gotta ask Dad. My brother. How you doing?
Nice to meet you.
I'm Shiloh.
That's neither here nor there. But prior to this clip, Shedeur was talking about he thought he was going to get in and play. And then his mom was cleaning her glasses off thinking he was going to get in. Like, that's the part that's crazy. It's just crazy. That's crazy to me. And so I go back and blame the Cleveland Browns. As I said before, they are a terrible organization. There's no rhyme or reason to what they do. And it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. And I think they're using him as a pawn in their game. It's just bad work. To me, it's bad work.